No,
Yeah,
that's from the
yeah,
last annual report in June
yeah.
last year.
Now there is a moral hazard here with the ATO. On one hand, they're supporting small business by not chasing them too hard. On one hand, on the other hand, but there's a couple of counter arguments. Number one, from me, because they're my biggest competitor. We provide cash flow, and the ATO does it. You don't even have to apply. You just stop paying. In fact, a lot of accountants have been advising their clients over the last year not to pay tax. It's quite remarkable. I've come across that a number of times. But there is a moral hazard in that. On one hand, if you and I are competing with each other and I'm not paying my tax, I can afford to undercut you because I'm taking it right. So that's on one hand.
Exactly.
On the other hand, I know from a trade supplier, trade creditor's point of view, they're concerned that, well, the ATO knew about this, because the ATO obviously has, in some respects, a lot better information than some suppliers do. And why have the ATO allowed them to trade? And us, the poor old trade suppliers, have been continuing to supply in good faith. When the ATO maybe should have alerted us. So I know the ATO is now has the power to report to the credit agencies. I mean, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly why we monitor that, because it still is a hidden risk for credit providers that they're trading along. They're getting their reports from their bureaus that we spoke about earlier. They're doing the best support the customer. Generally, they only find about that ATO debt when it goes into insolvency and there's a year or two of outstanding ATO debt, which, had they known about that, they could have made more efficient decisions and traded with the customer to mitigate their exposure. The measure that's brought out to disclose it is good. It's a big step forward. We do have some coming through. I think Grant, who was asking the question before, is one of the few members that have seen one of the defaults on a credit report.
Right.
But the issue there is once that business is disclosed, if they enter a repayment arrangement, that disclosure comes off the credit report like it was never there. So one day they've got a pile of debt, the next day they pay $20 on arrangement, and it's now again hidden from credit providers.